Welcome to Duluth Junction Workshop. This may be the last time I say that because there are some big changes coming up around here. In this video, I'll take a couple minutes going over the channel's new name and identity. Then my dad will join me to dive into what went so horribly wrong on our Saab road trip to the Ojibwe Forest Rally last weekend. Stay tuned. I'm Tyler, and I started this channel 2 years ago in September 2020 with a non-running Saab Sonett and a dream. To date, I've made 51 separate video uploads totaling almost 16 hours of runtime and gained 750 of you, the subscribers. During that time, I've purchased 2 cars, had 4 Will It Run videos, and learned a ton about auto mechanics in the process. I appreciate all of you tuning into this little project and offering encouragement and enthusiasm during this time. But what I've been doing in the past year has also changed some of my outlook on the channel, and with that, I'm changing its name as well. Last August, my dad and I took my F100 Boo Radley out to compete in an SCCA road rally and had a blast. Since then, we've competed in 8 so-called time, speed, distance, or TSD rallies. Boo has done 1, the Sonett has done 4, the Corvair will compete when it's ready, and I fully intend to use Mouse, the F600, as a rally transport in the future. I've also been volunteering at stage rallies or rally races for a full decade now. My dad has accompanied me to 4 in the past year, including my annual pilgrimage to LSPR. Eventually I want to race in stage rallies, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. The bulk of the content on this channel relates to rallying one way or another, and my tastes have also changed in the past few years. With that intersection of rallying and classic cars, I've decided the channel's new name will better reflect what's actually going on around here, and hopefully be easier to say. The new name is Sealed Beam Rally Team. Most cars I'm interested in sport these iconic sealed beam headlights that were mandated on all US market cars from the 1940s into the 80s and are still used today in special applications. It also rhymes, so yeah. I don't expect the content to change very much, but hopefully people will stop asking me if I live in Duluth. Be on the lookout for the new channel branding coming up, and don't freak out when the name changes on YouTube. It's all part of the plan. Now let's go over what happened with the stupid V4 pig over the weekend. It seems like I do a rally prep episode every few months now, but the last one we did on this thing, we went up to the Central UP Rally in Powers, Michigan. It was about a 7-hour drive. We did a lot of work to it to get it there, and it went pretty well when we got up there. Overall, I thought, with the way it was running, the way it was working after that, it's pretty dead reliable when we got back. So I decided there's probably no reason that I shouldn't drive it up to Ojibwe Forest Rally. It's 3 hours closer drive. It's just a little bit more of a comfort factor with something we've been to already, and we know kind of the layout of the rally. Drove it up there. It's running great. We went out, did our first bannering. We actually bannered out on the stage. That went really well, and we got to see a couple of the stages before everyone ripped them up. What did we do on Friday?
We worked at our first stage. I did ATC and you did start control.
So we did stages 1 and 5. He checked the cars in when they came in, and then I would set the time at the start control and then let them go on. We had a really good time at that. It's a pretty nice day, and afterward I decided I wanted to swing by and drive one of the Saturday roads on the way back to the campsite. It was dark out, and how did you feel about that?
I wasn't too excited. It was a fairly rough road. I mean, there were rocks this big in there, we knew that.
Trying to avoid the oil pan.
And you just don't see anybody out there, so if something happened, we'd be stranded.
Yeah. So I decided I would set my Rabbit Rally tablet to 30 miles an hour average and just see how that felt to drive that speed on there, pretend it's a TSD section. It was pretty doable except for the rocks. If it wasn't for the rocks, it would have been fine, but driving along, it's a 12-mile piece of road, and we're about 10.5 miles in. The car just stops dead and coasts to a stop. There's no sputtering, there's no issues, it's just running and then not. So we got out and pulled the electrical testers out. And at Central UP Rally, we had the same issue. We were going to the gas station, and it turns out the wire fell off the coil. So we just plugged the wire back in, and it was fine. And this time, that was not the issue.
But it really seemed like it should have been a vibration issue because it was pretty rough ride.
Yeah, felt like something rattled apart. I do carry extra points in there just because points manufacturing isn't what it used to be. Threw the new points in, gapped them, and the car ran beautifully. It started right up and purred, and then tried to drive, got about maybe 20-30 feet, and it just died again. It broke up, sputtered, and died.
and we were also on a hill like about that steep too. So, and it was no way we were pushing up that hill to get down the other side.
In the middle of the woods, middle of the night, it's like 11 o'clock. There are mosquitoes swarming around the work light. It was pretty miserable. We ended up doing that 3 times, replacing the points, gapping the points, and driving, and it would sputter out. And I just said, you know what? The alternator's not charging doing this, and we're not going to make it. It's going to take 3-4 hours to get to the end, and then we're still at a county road. Nikki, stop. Nikki. Thankfully, a guy in a pickup truck actually showed up and didn't run into us. His name is Kyle, and he helped us, just kind of towed us out to the highway. We were able to, your phone worked.
Yeah, so before Kyle showed up, I was able to get a hold of Rogo Towing and Recovery north of Itasca State Park, and they were out there, I'd say, in 45 minutes to get us, and ended up calling us back and saying, we're not exactly sure where you are. And we said, well, luckily Kyle showed up. He's going to pull us out to the paved road so he can pick us up there.
Yeah, so that Rogo ended up taking us from the highway down to the worker pickup we were supposed to be at 7:30 this next morning, and it was like 12:30 in the morning at this point. It was after midnight. We had to be kind of up and at 'em in 7 hours, and we were dropped off like 1:30 in the morning at our worker pickup at Bad Medicine. And hello.
I think if we weren't on start control on the second day, you know, if we were a course marshal or something like that, we probably could have gotten away with not going. But since you know, they were relying on us, we had to make sure we were there.
Pretty short on staffing that weekend, so we wanted to make sure that we could make it happen and help the rally continue. We did end up sleeping in the car overnight. The fiberglass bucket seats do not recline. It was very uncomfortable, kind of like curled up all night. And you're having back issues right now, so
I am.
It might be a contributing factor.
Probably not, but you never know.
I bathed in the lake in the morning before the whole thing started, and we were able to get a little bit of work on the car. Couldn't get it to work, so we got some rides into the stage. Stage went okay. We had fun, and we ended up getting a ride back to our campsite, which is very nice. Thank you, Allison. And got the car towed to the Rogo towing yard, and then we got a guy named Cody came up. Thank you, Cody, for coming up and actually hauling this back to the cities, because we would not have been able to do that the way it happened.
And we had your cousin Greta and her husband Peter came from the North Shore and picked us up on the way down to the cities, swung by Itasca, about 4 hours out of their way, but we really appreciate that, because we didn't know when Cody was going to get there and if we were going to be stranded up there.
Yeah, he ended up getting here and dropping the car off like 10:30, 11, I think, so it would have been a really long day sitting on a park bench at Itasca. But overall, I mean, we poked around with the car when we got home, and when it got home, we still don't know what's wrong with it. We thought it was maybe an ignition switch. Tested out everything we could, even at Itasca area, we tested out everything we could. Nothing tests bad. Everything seems to check out.
We have proper voltage, we have continuity of all the circuits, we bypass the ignition switch and wired it direct, the coil direct with power, and nothing works. So we changed distributor caps, condenser, coil, points, checked the coil wire with a different one, nothing is working, and totally baffled what is going on. It just seems like some vibration issue caused this. Yeah,
we bypassed my little ignition switch cutoff and everything that I use for several things, but nothing that we bypassed or nothing that we replaced did any difference whatsoever. Now the car won't even start up, it just kind of cranks and that's it. So who's to say?
The only thing we didn't change was the rotor.
It's true. I don't think it's the rotor though. The rotor looks fine. I don't know. It's baffling, of course. So we're going to probably shove this thing in the barn for a while until maybe someone wants to come over and help us with it. And I have offered my friends a 6-pack if they can figure out what's wrong with it. I don't need them to even fix it. I just need to know what's happening. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. I think for LSPR, I'm planning on taking Boo the F100 And so we have a few things to do on that. I kind of do a rally prep episode for the rally truck. And so stay tuned for that. Stay tuned and watch for the new channel change, the new logo. And it's going to be this kind of same old me, but different name, kind of reflect the more rally focused stuff that I do lately. So thank you for watching, and thanks Dad for helping me out on the adventure that we had. Yeah, press on. People love the pop-ups.